Does God have compassion for children? Hosea 2:4. That is a rather tricky question, so let's quickly go into the context of this passage. In Hosea 1, we meet the prophet Hosea. The Lord came to Hosea and requested of him to take a harlot wife, simply a woman trapped in prostitution. So Hosea does as the Lord requests, taking a wife named Gomer and then bearing a son. The Lord requests Hosea to name his son Jezreel, for he will bring judgment upon the house of Israel. The name Jezreel means the Lord sows. She then bears another child named Lo Ruhamah, meaning no pity, and says he will no longer have compassion on Israel. He then says, if the number of the sons of Israel be like the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured or numbered, and in the place where it said to them, you are not my people, it will be said to them, you are the sons of the living God. The number of Israel's sons being plentiful goes all the way back to the book of Genesis, where God established his covenant with Abraham, when he showed such faith as to even sacrifice his own son. The passage here is using Hosea as an analogy for the feelings of God. He is with an adulterous wife, one who is not faithful. This so is with God, whose wife is Israel. When God is saying, you are not my people, or not God's people, he will say, you are the sons of the living God. We then get to Hosea 3, and the tone has now changed. Then the Lord said to me, go again, love a woman who is loved by her husband, yet an adulteress, even as the Lord loves the sons of Israel, though they turn to other gods and love raisin cakes, a likely reference to eating it before idol worship. So I bought her for myself for 15 shekels of silver, a homer, and a half of barley, this likely referring to a dowry. Then I said to her, you shall stay with me for many days, you shall not play the harlot, nor shall you have a man, so I will be toward you. For the sons of Israel remained for many days without king or prince, without sacrifice or sacred pillar, and without an ephod or household idols. Afterward, the sons of Israel return and seek the Lord their God and David their king, and they will soon travel to the Lord, to his goodness in the last days. We see here that the Lord is reminding Israel where their minds should be, towards him and not of idols, and that they will return to the Lord. In Hosea 6, we get Hosea preaching of the need to return to God. They have been harlots, but let them return after his time. The Lord will restore them, he will heal them. Come, let us return to the Lord, for he has torn us, but he will heal us. He has wounded us, but he will bandage us. He will revive us after 2 days, and will raise us up on the third day, that we may live before him. The Jews have severely transgressed the covenant of Abraham, but it's time now to seek the Lord. So, for what reason did I make us read all this context? Well, let's quickly read the verse. Upon our children also I will have no mercy, because they are children of whoredom. God is angry with Israel. Even so, we see through Isaiah God demands Israel, for he loves them. These people of Israel must be judged for their wrongdoings. I will punish her for the days of the Baals, when she uses offer sacrifices to them, and adorn herself with earrings and jewelry, and follow her lovers so that she forgot me, declares the Lord. God still loves them, but because of these great sins, ones even the children are following, there must be reconciliation. One must not forsake the love of the Lord God. He's all loving, but he too is all just, and Israel needs a tough talking to.